Welcome to Taylor Wells Pricing Channel. Today I'm going to talk about how telco operators are now significantly changing their global pricing objectives and strategies to fit with an evolving and more digital marketplace. Today I'll show you how high-performing telco groups like Telstra are planning to maintain their lead position in a massively disrupted industry. Okay, let's get started. Did you know that we now spend 85% of our time on our smartphones? Not only are we spending a staggering amount of time on our phones, we are now well and truly hooked on living our lives through a screen, without even really noticing how much we have changed as a consequence. Because of our phones, how we buy stuff has changed, how we communicate and interact with each other has changed, and how we think about and prioritize our lives have changed. We are now no longer happy with what telcos used to offer us anymore. Slow networks, poor service, limited data, voice and SMS. We now want telcos to come up with a bigger, better offer. Faster networks, better service, more data, more video content. But getting what we want will take time. Telco groups are not digitized technology businesses yet. They are still fundamentally a brick-and-mortar communication services business. Telco operators across the board are finding it very difficult to catch up with their customers' rapidly changing buying behaviors and expectations. In fact, in the first time in 10 years, telco cash flows are under pressure. Revenues are steadily falling. People simply don't want and don't need the core offer of voice and SMS as much as they used to. Telco pricing is also causing quite a few financial issues too. Not only is the core telco offer just not that appealing to customers anymore, pricing plans are overly complex and not driving enough customer usage. Digital is also proving to be CapEx demanding for telcos as well. Costs are increasing as they make huge investments of billions of dollars in better technology like the NBN rollout, big data analytics, content video, platforms, cloud, and enterprise systems. In fact, many telco operators are at the cliff's edge right now. Not only are revenues declining and CapEx increasing, the market is now highly saturated. Competition is intense, and many of their assets are losing value overnight. Now, to give you a sense of the urgency for change in the telco market, just last June, Telstra Australia announced that their strategic objectives had changed and that they were now focused on creating a new, wholly owned infrastructure business unit, radically transforming customer plans and pricing, and massively reducing their cost base to maintain healthy EBITDA figures of 8 to 9 billion for 2019. In other words, Telstra have decided to leave their old business model behind them and create a whole new technology services business to compete in an evolving and more digital marketplace. As you can imagine, these new objectives are going to have an enormous impact on their business and pricing strategy. Telcos will almost certainly have to extend their core existing offer and subscription-based model and replace it with a new value-based pricing strategy. This will mean a complete price architecture redesign. Their pricing team will now have to create simple pricing plans that drive customer usage, digital bundles that customers actually want, combining media, financial services, location services, and communications. They'll have to create fewer but better add-on options to upgrade and upsell, remove charges, less tactical discounting, and more structured and targeted weekly promotions and offers. And while all of this is happening, telcos will have to free up a huge amount of cash flow to pay for the whole digital transformation, which means selling off older assets, delinking from costly operations, and restructuring the entire business. This means cutting heads, adding new specialist roles, and changing old roles. Now, looking at the forecast for network traffic, it is clear that there's an abundance of reasons for moving to a technology services model. Network traffic is increasing all the time. However, the telco market globally are clearly at a crossroads, and the decisions they make now will have a direct impact on their profitability, their staff, their customers, and their future success in a new market. Firstly, as I have shown, the subscription-based model and basic core offer has now run its course in mature markets, and telcos have no choice but to change their pricing and revenue models. The new technology service model that they're moving to is great, but it also requires a huge upfront investment in technology, an area that they have very little knowledge of and experience in. And finally, many telco businesses are still not set up for this level of change. They're just not agile enough to implement strategy and don't have the right mix of people to deploy pricing and analytical skills across the business. Making significant improvements to pricing, cost, capital infrastructure and culture is now no longer an option for telcos but a priority in an industry experiencing massive disruption and declining revenues. Businesses that do it well will not only attract more customers, they'll enjoy the lion's share of the profits and be in the position to create new growth. If you'd like to know more about what a world-class pricing team does to drive change in a digital transformation, or want to brush up on your pricing skills and knowledge, I've put together an ebook for you, which you can download on taylorwells.com.au website. Alternatively, subscribe to Taylor Wells' pricing channel now and get an update as soon as a new video is released.